Hi everyone, my name is Titus and I'm a fashion designer and the founder of my clothing brand Vellachor. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my clothing brand and what I do while I walk you through my beauty routine. So let's get ready. So my first step of my beauty routine is moisturizer. I am loving the Pro Collagen Marine Cream by Elemis, and it's got SPF 30, which is really important, especially for a pale girly like me. Gotta wear your sunscreen. I taught myself how to sew when I was 5, and I've kind of been designing ever since. And then when I was 18, I moved from Iowa to Los Angeles for fashion school, and I've been kind of growing and building my brand really ever since. I technically launched my brand in 2022, but it's kind of been a lifelong dream of mine. Next, I'm gonna do primer. I've been loving the Fenty Beauty, what is this? The Pro Filter Soft Matte. It's their instant retouch filter primer. I love it. So I'm gonna do that. I get questions all the time about my brand name, Vellachor, and like what it means and how I came up with it. Vellachor is originally actually a word, it's spelled a little bit different, but it's a word that is used to describe the nostalgic feeling you get when you smell old books or antiques. So it's a made-up word to describe a feeling, and when I stumbled upon that word, I thought it was so perfect because my brand is inspired by really my grandpa's antique store that I used to visit all the time as a kid, and that's where I felt the most inspired. And so I thought this word was just kind of perfect that it had to do with antique books and things like that. I changed the spelling a little bit. Normally I spell it with an I spelled it with an A, so my name Ella is right in the middle, which I thought was kind of cute and just perfect that it worked out that way. Also, with it having to do with antiques and nostalgia, I have 4 pillars that I kind of try to design with: nostalgia, romance, whimsy, and artistry. And I find a lot of artistry in antiques. Obviously, nostalgia is a big part of that word, Vellachor, so it's kind of all worked out perfectly. So now I'm going in with the Evelina Beauty Dewy Benefit Cream. I love this because as a pale girl, it's hard to find foundations that don't like turn kind of orange, and this one has been a really good color match for me. It also is really light coverage, and I really like to let my freckles pop through, so I like that it just gives me a little bit of like, it evens out my skin tone without really covering up too much. So I'm gonna put that all over. While I do that, let's talk about sustainability. So sustainability is really important to me and my brand. I try to use dead stock fabrics whenever possible. There's a couple places in Los Angeles where I source those. And then I also have sustainable packaging. So all the packaging that I ship my clothing out in is in biodegradable packaging that I get from a really amazing packaging company. So I just try to be as sustainable as I can wherever I go. Another factor that's important to me is I do everything right now made to order. So I'm not making 100 units and hoping they sell and creating a bunch of waste if they don't. I make the garment as it's ordered. Again, it just reduces waste. My goal is to keep production in-house always and do made to order in small batch for sustainability reasons. Also just like ethically, I don't love the idea of going into a big factory and having people mass produce stuff. I really don't want to go the fast fashion route with my brand for sustainability and ethics reasons. So the goal would be to have a small in-house team that is always just helping me make things as orders come in, small batch, custom order, things like that, just to stay a little sustainable. Also from Evelina Beauty, I'm using their concealer in shade Light. I like to put that just right under my eyes. And then if I have any like spots, I want to cover up. Yeah, so sustainability is super important to me. Ethics. I know fashion can just kind of be one of the worst industries in terms of sustainability and ethics. And so I like to do what I can. So let's blend this in. I like to just use my finger. I don't know. Okay, while I do my bronzer, I'm going to talk about where I find my inspiration and how I stay inspired. So like I said when I was talking about the name of my brand, I get a lot of inspiration from antiques. I grew up going to my grandpa's antique store, and that's just where I always felt really creative as a kid. I liked to think about like what stories those antique objects could tell from the whole life they've lived before we found them. So antiques as well as classic art. I love Renaissance art, oil paintings, mosaic. You'll see a lot of art, like elements from classic art coming through in my work, which I think is kind of, I don't know, a lot of people tell me that they really like that because it's something a little bit different. I'm also really inspired by like architecture and old buildings. I've been loving to travel and just kind of seeing what I can find inspiration in all over the world. I have a very, I think, European flair to some of my designs, I've been told. But yeah, definitely art and antiques is my biggest form of inspiration. Like, you can't really tell. I have like Greek statues all over my apartment and I implement them into my designs as well, which has just been really fun for me. Very creative. Next, I'm using a liquid blush from Sonella. I've been absolutely loving this product and this brand. It's super pigmented, so I do like the smallest little dot. This is in shade Petal Bloom. Just gonna blend that in. Like I said, it's super pigmented, which I love. I just have to be careful because I'm so fair. Today I'm going for a natural look. So I'm just gonna use the same bronzer that I used just for a little bit of eyeshadow. I don't know if I said it before, but this is Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Diamond Bronzer. I kind of switch up my bronzers all the time. I'm always looking for something new. So I just like to do like a little bit on my outer corners just to give it a little pop. But yeah, a typical day in my life. So I wake up, get ready, take my dog Bobbin for a walk. And then every day is just really different in terms of what I'm doing. Right now I'm preparing for New York Fashion Week, which is really exciting. So I'm working on developing a new collection. I've been sewing, designing, sketching, fabric sourcing, just always running around doing 1,000 things. I also work with startups and help them develop their brands. So sometimes I'll be doing work for that, which could be pattern making, talking to manufacturers, really anything. But it's never a dull moment. I am never bored because I'm always so busy. I don't know what a break is. I'll be so honest. Like I said, because my day is always all over the place, I'm not really good at keeping a good routine just because I just never know where the day is going to take me. One thing that's always constant is taking my dog for a walk at least 3 times a day. So that kind of gets me out of the house and gives me a little bit of structure. I am using the Tarte Tubing Mascara like everyone else. I love this mascara so much, partially because it is the easiest mascara to remove. Normal mascara is such a pain in the butt to take off. This one just comes off the tubing. It's great. So yeah, like I said, I'm prepping for New York Fashion Week right now and I'm so excited. I'm taking my collection this year a little bit more bridal, so I'm working on all of these beautiful evening gowns and a lot of really fun stuff that I'm so excited to share with you all. Okay, eyebrows. So I'll be so honest, I have never found an eyebrow product color-wise that I love for a redhead. It's surprisingly tough. So I mix 4 shades of eyeshadow together and just put them on my brows. So I like to kind of straighten them out. So yeah, I just mix 4 shades of eyeshadow together on an angled brush and just kind of fill them in. Yeah, it's been working for me since high school. But what I do love for my eyebrows is, again, by Evelina Beauty, their Sculpting Brow Lift. I like to put that on top of the eyeshadow I put on because I feel like it kind of locks it into place. Sometimes eyeshadow can fall. So I like to just kind of lightly brush through, and those are my brows. And finally, to finish it off for my lips, I think like everyone else, I'm obsessed with the Satcho. Is it Satcho? I'm not sure. The lip liner stain in shade Pinked. So I just kind of put that on. Even when I'm doing a natural look, I'll do this because I don't have to worry about it moving throughout the day. It stays on for forever. So just kind of put it on as a lip liner. We'll let that dry. Another big part of being a designer and my job in kind of the modern day, I guess, is social media. I run both my brand social media page and my own personal Instagram, where I love to share content about designing my collections, kind of giving everyone a behind the scene look of what it is that I do and how I kind of navigate life as a fashion designer. And it's also been fun because everyone online that follows me has been able to see me grow from when I moved out here at 18 to go to fashion school, hoping maybe I could be a designer someday, to now getting ready for my New York Fashion Week debut. So it's been so fun to document the process. Social media is an amazing tool in terms of brand brand growth and pushing product sales. I get almost all of my sales right now through my reels and engagement on Instagram, which is really fun. It's another big part of my job and day. Let this dry. Innovation is important in not only the beauty industry, but also the fashion industry. So it kind of goes well with what we're doing here. How do I kind of try to stay innovative? I think what I really do is I do keep a close eye on trends, what my customers are asking for, do market research, all of that. But I've also found that when I design for myself and really design for just like the crazy ideas that pop into my head, people tend to tell me that I'm being innovative and like love it. I kind of strive to just create something that I've never seen before, which I'm able to do doing kind of one of a kind, made to orders, the more kind of couture pieces. I really like to try and push the boundaries and be like, oh, I've never seen actual little Greek statues on a denim jacket before. Let's try it. Things like that. I think to stay innovative, I just kind of have to tell myself, like, I never say no. I'm never like, oh, that's a cool idea. Impossible. I am always like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's see how we can do it. I love a challenge, so I am constantly challenging myself, and that's how I kind of keep my designs innovative. Okay, I think this is dry. So I see a lot of people pull this off with tweezers. I'm not fancy, so I normally just like, beautiful. Peel that off, but there. Last step is, once again, by Sinella, my new favorite lip color. I don't know if this is plumping. It always makes my lips feel a little cold, so I think it might be. This is Sinella in shade Encourage Yourself, and I love it. I think it goes really well with the blush that I use, as well as that lip liner, so I just like to put that right on top. And there we go. Here's my finished beauty look. Thanks so much for getting ready with me and listening to me talk about my brand and what I do. If you want to find me, you can find Vellachor at Vellachor on Instagram, or I'm at ella.titus on Instagram, as well as on TikTok and pretty much all other platforms. Yeah, thanks. Have a great day.